coming at you right now. It is your boy, the one and only Tommy Bella, back up in this bitch. And we are coming live to you at 11:52 p.m. Saturday, December 16th, 2023, Eastern Standard Time. And today we're just going to be playing some video games. Yeah. And, no, I'm going to be talking about few things actually. First and foremost, I wanted to say that, um, I really, really hate, um, the world. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'll say this: that I live in the United States, where I have seen this place change very dramatically, and in terms of how Christians are viewed and perceived and treated. Um, and I just want to say that I am a Christian, but I like Christians. I'm not a perfect Christian, and I do sin. I'm a sinner. Um, but I can't. I just absolutely hate cancel culture, liberals, woke people. Generations like the new generation, the younger generations out here. It is one of the most stupidest fucking things that I've ever seen in my life. You know? Like you new kids out here are just so dumb. You know what I mean? Cancel culture in itself is so dumb. It is retarded, and it's what I believe to be it's worse than racism. Cancel culture is worse than racism because while you believe you're doing the right thing, doesn't necessarily mean you're doing the right thing. The way that racist white people used to also do the same thing, they used to say that all brown people from the hood are gangsters and that they're automatically evil. And that personally, I had a girlfriend. I had a crush on a girl who was white, and because I was brown and I lived in the hood, they said it was always a stigma against that. The taboo. I don't know if it's taboos. A stigmatization against me of that I'm not good enough for her. And that's what it is, what I'm saying? That's what cancel culture is. It's just people saying that some people are worse than others, and therefore they should be canceled and ostracized and marginalized from society. It's bullying. It's, we're not cool enough. We're not cool enough for your, it's egotistical. It's just crap. I bet you that woke people and all those people are full of, mean girls, Lindsay Lohan shit. It's just ridiculous. And like I said, I always hate that shit. You know what I mean? And especially when y'all start talking about let's jump in this. When they start talking about uh, Christians, came across this video as always. And the video is saying that in the cancel culture, there's this guy trying to prove a point about how people that are Christians have to learn how to forgive and repent. You know what I mean? And that's one of the main things that Jesus calls upon us to do is to love thy neighbor and to trust in God first and foremost, and never a celebrity, never exalt somebody else to the point of worshiping somebody else or yourself. Which or yourself, which means not to let egotistical things get in your race. In this Western individualistic, materialistic society, that it promotes ego, it promotes people to really go uninhibited by any kind of doctrine or any kind of ideologies or set of rules, if you will, that restrains them, and it just really promotes the idea that you can become the best of the best of your life, to the point that you believe you're God, and it really leads to like ego tripping all over this place. I really can't stand that. But a lot of people are under the impression that well, first of all, in the video, the guy says that he has racist friends, and he's talking to a bunch of college kids, right? And all the kids that are right there are, stupid, by the way. I think if you go to college, you're an idiot. But anyway, I mean, because you're going to get into debt that you can't even pay off. It's just you're going to take you a while to pay off. It's just ridiculous to get into that. Anyway, you learn these things, right? I mean, he's telling them these things, and we've probably seen those videos too by that guy. But he tells them, hey, I'm a Christian, but I have friends who are racist, and the reaction of other kids, right, is just they're like children. I mean, they're like, what? I cannot believe you. All that shit. Like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. I hate them. The dude that says that is like there's a gay couple right there, then there's a gay guy right there. He's obviously gay. And they're standing there. Like the way that they view the world, bro, it's just so hypocritical. It's like they say that racism is bad and whatever. It's like they just don't understand. They just don't like. It's sad. It's just sad that that these people, that Christianity is not as big as it should be by now. And then the people don't really understand Christianity. You understand? And it's like, it's really ridiculous. Like, how stupid. When you know something, Christianity is good, and you realize that people are just rejected for a stupider ideology. Like, it's just annoying, right? But the way that they were saying that that's bad. That I can't even listen to you because you have friends that are racist. How could you do that? Like, they can't understand. Like how could you have like, this is nonsense, Christians. You don't understand. But it's like, this is nothing new. It's like the doctrine of Christianity is extreme. You know what I mean? And it's so extreme to people that have never really seen it before. That's why people adopted it, because ultimately it is something that's very prosperous. I mean, it is good. It is good. You know what I mean? But when you first hear it, you're astonished. Is the word. It leaves you astonished at what the things that it tells you to do. Like forgive your enemies. So, like, exactly, like that's part of it, right? It's like, in the doctrine it says, love thy neighbor. That's what Jesus said. Love thy neighbor. Well, first of all, to not have any other gods but the one of Israel, right? The God the God of Israel, of Jerusalem, that helped and freed the Jews from slavery. I mean, and out of Egypt. Okay, that's the God that we should pray to. Right? Okay, so anyway, the kids start looking at this man like you're like already judging, just being 100% judgmental. You know what I mean? And being like, oh my God, I've heard enough. You say that you have racist friends. How can you? And the guy, he's like, I gotta go, or everybody starts laughing and like naive, naive kids, They grew up in this cancel culture world, this politically correct, world where they think that there's good and bad, and that, they think they're perfect and they think they're all politically correct. Like, they believe the shit that fucking liberals and woke people say, the Democrats. Like, they're totally fucking just whatever. And they're woke, gay, liberal, fucking stupid ass kids, they don't know shit, you know what I mean? Pussies, you know what I mean? And, like, basically, right, I started thinking about this shit. I was like, man, like, how misinformed they are, right? In reality, how misinformed they are. And, like, basically, I start thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, hold on, I'm jumping in right now, but but hey, whatever. Did man? Did everybody jump? Here we are. Okay, so anyway, all right, so yeah, those kids like they're looking at the Christian guy, teacher, professor, whatever, and he's like, you know, I have racist friends, I have friends who are criminals, friends who have raped, friends who are drug addicts, friends who have stolen. They're liars and thieves. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so do I. Hey, you know what? Hey, I know a few people. You know, you know, and all the kids are like, oh my god, I can't believe what he just said. You know, and it's like, yeah, dude, like seriously, you know, like, and then he's like, you know, what he's making a point is that he, because he has these friends, because they do these things, does not mean they can't be friends. You know what I mean? But he tells that he, as a Christian, tells those people that are his friends, you know, to turn away from those things and to repent and to, you know what I'm saying, to turn to God and stuff. You know what I mean? And so those people don't understand, right? Like the most people wouldn't understand because that's the doctrine of God, right? That's what Jesus does. He doesn't come here for to help the people that are already saved. He comes here to help those that are bad. Before, no, I mean, personally, I think before they do something that's even worse. You know what I mean? You know, it's like he's like an antibody fighting a cancer. You know what I mean? So he has to, you know, well, how does he do it? He does it by making them do it themselves and changing them, their behavior, to not make the world a worse place. Anyway, it's common sense, right? You know what I mean? Because, I mean, like, if you just stop talking to somebody, right, this is what everybody does. And so I was like, you know, like, it's just so annoying because, like, the people that think this shit, like, from the perspective of Christianity, right, we're all sinners, right? And this is what he goes on to say, we're all sinners. We're not perfect individuals, and we all do things that are bad. You understand? And people, you know, and then I mean, I have to understand that people are not Christians, right? You know, and that's still shocking to me, right? But whatever, you know, and so, you know, the point is that everybody is a sinner, and there's nobody's perfect, and that, you know, people make mistakes sometimes, but that shouldn't be a reason as to what, ostracize them and marginalize them out of society. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, or, you know, in the naive sense or the practical sense, you know, oh, like, stop talking to them as friends, you know, like, oh, I'm not friends with that person anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like, and this is, you know, a very important thing because, you know, the you know, those kids are, they can't understand this concept because they grew up in this, like, the last 10 years, which is cancel culture, a bunch of hypocrites, you know, a bunch of hypocrites that don't understand, you know, how, like, they think that complaining and stuff is how the world works or something, and that, you know, that we live in a place where saints are here or something. You know what I mean? I mean, look, I'm not saying, look, maybe those people are better Christians, but, like, they're not because, you know, from what I said, like I said, there's, like, I would think, oh, you know what? Maybe the woke people are correct, man. Like, maybe we shouldn't forgive the people that are, that, you know, and this is where people get messed up because they go down that road where they say, oh, yeah, like we shouldn't talk to people, like, you know, they're sinners, they deserve to die. And it's like, that's what they think. You know, that's what they think. They think that they deserve to die. And so it's like, they're crazy. These people are like, they say that, like, okay, so okay, like Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter and feminists, right? You see their reality, right? Their ideology, right? Whatever, their bias. It's like their bias is that they are right, that they're the victims, and that the other people are the bad guys, right? And so their mentality, when they say that they hate racist people, that racists are devils, but then they themselves are doing hate crimes, right? And they're just and they're wishing death on people, and they harbor hatred and shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, those are hate groups, by the way. Black Lives Matter and feminism, those are hate groups. Anyway, they you know they can't understand that, in my view, right? All I see are people who have justified to themselves and rationalized why to commit crimes and hatred of other people, right? And they don't look at the act of it itself as being bad, as long as it's justified. Just like the bombing of those kids, in Israel. As long as it's justified, right? Or the Palestine do the same thing to the Israelis, right? In slaughtering their kids. It was justified. That's how I look at Black Lives Matter, woke people, and cancel culture, and all this bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? And so it goes back to the idea of Christianity, right? Which is, we don't condemn others like that. We don't condemn people like this. God is the only one that judges. That's number one. But this is what people do. Like, they like to do witch hunts, cancel culture, witch hunts, and they're like mob mentality. Everybody's politically correct, and you're too cool. You know what I mean? And you're a clique, you're a cool club. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like, and so in the real sense, right? I know real sinners, and nobody's perfect. Does that mean that I should stop talking to them? I mean, because they did this? No, I don't agree with when they're doing bad shit. And you know what I mean? Like, let me tell you like this. I'm a person who, when I was going to school, I grew up in the hood, right? So there was a lot of bad shit going on, and I had friends, but I know that we all live from the hood. I was a person who didn't care about your skin color, for example. So I'd have friends from all over, from different places, and I knew that they were different. I knew that they were from different gangs and different shit, different cliques. But I still was a guy who said hi to everybody, right? I said hi to everybody and stuff, because, like, honestly, and some of those guys ended up getting locked up. I had some friends that died, and some friends who became criminals and got locked up. Like, I know all these people, but the thing about me is that it doesn't matter, where they're from or whatever. I'd still talk to them, right? I'd still be their friend. I'd still, doesn't matter if they're poor, I still treat them with respect, because that's what I want to live in, a world where ideally, what type of world I would like to live in. I like to live in a world where, like, everybody cares about each other. And even if one person is waking up and they're sorrowful and they're just like, I'm sad and depressed and stuff, then everybody would feel for that person. And like, it's like every day we get up with smiles on our faces. We'd be kind to one another. We'd help each other. We'd be bustling to work, and some person would be able to give me a bagel or something for free. Like, oh, I got you tomorrow. Whatever. We'd be cool. We're trusting. We're giving. We're generous with one another. We're helpful. We protect them, and we provide for each other. We protect each other in our communities and our kids, and we protect our innocence, and we prosper. You know what I mean? And we dive deep into religious and ideologies and cultural relevance and all these things, right? And everybody is worthy. Everybody feels worthy. Everybody's happy, and everybody lives long, healthy, happy, fulfilled, purposeful lives. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like, when somebody wakes up sad, we'd all be like, oh no, like, what? Like, let's all make that person's day better. I mean, like, I know that sounds cheesy, and I don't even know practically what effect it would have, but that's just the way. Like, I just know that when I got cheated on, when things happen to me, nobody cared, and sometimes I was just, and then I see people that were happy, and I'd be like, you know, why can't I be happy and stuff, you know? But anyway, but and even a kid who is having a bad day, you make it up to that kid, and so everybody can equally be happy. And people would, like, our happiness would be based on everybody being happy. And if one of us is happy, then we are not happy because that one kid is. That means that everybody matters, right? Everybody matters. Nobody feels worthless, and everybody cares about one another because we are. I believe that everybody, no matter where you're from, is it has some purpose here on this planet, on this earth, and is part of humanity. You know what I mean? And that we all need to get along because we all have a purpose, and we're all valuable towards humanity, right? Now, the people that are cancel cultures, they believe that, the reason I don't like those people, and that's why I don't like the Gen Zers, I don't like the woke, I don't like the left, I don't like these people, liberals, because, in their mind, their ideology, which is not religion, it's it makes people, it makes some inferior, some superior. It makes certain people inferior, other people superior. There's like a ruling class, and like I could really compare it to like eugenics, to racism, to all this shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I hate that. I hate racism. I hate classism, eugenics, and it's like, and probably they would like to exterminate people too. Oh, they wish they could kill all the sinners or what have you. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't mind the eradication of or ethnic cleansing of people, right? Because they're sinners and they're bad people. They're racist. They should be exterminated. And it's like that's what they thought. You know what I mean? That's exactly. It's hypocritical, right? And so, and so anyway, it's like, that's just hypocritical. And so, I started thinking about the Christians, and I'm like, he went on further to say that he tells, he stays friends with them and tells them, to turn, to be better, gives them a second chance, And I learned this from Star Wars, right? I know I'm all over the place, but I really do hate cancel culture so much. He says, right? He says, no, rather, Obi-Wan in Star Wars, like only a Sith deals in absolutes. You know what I mean? And that's what they are. Like when they say, oh, when y'all know what part I'm talking about. When the person says, I said person. What in the world, dude? Oh my gosh, they were on my left the entire time. When Anakin tells Obi-Wan, no, Obi-Wan tells Anakin, only a Sith deals in absolutes. That's the woke people. Woke are like, oh, he's evil, they're racist, they're bad. Oh, don't talk to them. I mean, it's fucking fucked up. I mean, it's stupid. Feminist, same shit. Oh, he's a misogynist. Let's cancel his culture and ruin his life. Cancel him and shit. It's like, what? Like, I mean? Like, there has to be middle dialogue. Nope, not with them. I mean? And so it's like, they're obviously bad people. And so anyway, you know, so then he made a further point to say that Christians, God teaches us to help them. I mean, not to help them, but to to be like that. To he explained it a little bit better. But the point is that Christians don't stop talking to sinners. This is extreme, right? But in Christianity, when people say they're a good person is somebody who goes and preaches to the incarcerated, and goes preaches to and helps the homeless and the drug addicts, and go helps the drug addicts and preach to them and give them stuff, and go volunteer at a soup kitchen, you know, goes tries to preach to those that are incarcerated, the bad kids. They have the little outreach program for the gangsters and the kids. You know what I mean? Those are good people. Those are Christian people. You know what I mean? And people have this misconception that Christians are bad. It's like, my belief is that the reason, because of the same reason that this white man said, this guy said about Christians not being like, just not necessarily aparting themselves from the sinners. They're just Christians. Doesn't matter. They don't separate themselves from the bad people, and it's like, that's probably the reason why Christianity was introduced to slaves, and it was also introduced to indigenous people, and also introduced to everybody around, like Latin America. Because when the Romans or the colonizers came over here, they were white, obviously European, but there was also some European Christians people. You know what I mean? And but the Christians were the ones that disagreed with them and showed compassion, towards the indigenous and towards the poor and the slaves and stuff like this. They're the ones that helped end their suffrage. You know what I mean? Even though they came on the same boat with the colonizers, doesn't mean that they were, bad people. It's just like, think about, so there's like a priest, right? In every garrison in a war, right? There's a priest, and it's to bless them in war, but also to send them away when they're dead, when they die. Right? And that priest, he wouldn't have weapons. He doesn't have a gun or doesn't have this. No, they have a cross, and there would be guys on there, right? That their sole purpose is to just carry the cross or a flag or whatever. You know what I mean? Even though that's all bullshit, it doesn't matter. But that was their sole job. You know what I mean? They didn't have like weapons to defend themselves. And because everybody would understand what they are. And it's like that's how it is. Like the holy man. You know what I mean? Holy man would go on war. They're not soldiers, but they get there with the soldiers. They're not going to kill you, but they're there either way, right? And it's like on some level, that I think that's how the Christianity was like introduced to slaves and to people, but also that's probably why people have this misconception that Christians are bad people. You know what I mean? Probably where they get their bad reputation. You know what I mean? Because they're with, like, ironically, where there's conflict and when there's war, that's where you meet God. That's where Christians should be, and that's where Christians are. You know what I mean? Where there's conflict, where there's war. You know what I mean? Where there's the bad guys, where there's evil, Christians are also there. You know what I mean? Like because they are there, because they understand it's going down. You know what I mean? And they understand this motherfucker. They understand these guys, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? They're the ones that care. They're the ones that tell the commanders, it's not right to kill those kids, or it's not right. Maybe we shouldn't slaughter them. You know what I mean? Like, please, you know what I mean? Like, they beg and they tell them, not to do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And obviously, it's up to the discretion of whoever, right? The commander, but because holy things are something real. If you think, right, that the people are not scared of God, right, or people don't believe in God, then you are totally like living under a rock. There's people all around the world believing. Okay? I still don't understand like how stupid people can be. But anyway, so regardless, right? That's that's my thing. I think that personally, the reason why Christians are hated is because, the Christians that introduced Christianity to the people over here came with the they were side by side with the colonizers, with the bad people, but they were the ones that probably made them show a bit of restraint. Maybe they're the ones that said that there should be some type of there should be some type of you know mercy, give shown or given towards you know what I mean. Damn it, bruh, that's some bullshit. But anyway, that's how that is, right? And like basically, um, yeah, that's how I feel. And I really don't know what else to say except that, you know, when when you're down on your luck, and when everybody turns their back on you, including like with that philosophy of that cancel culture, when you get down on your luck and you make a bit of mistakes, and everybody turns their back on you, your girlfriend, your so-called friends, cancel culture, these people, um, nobody gives a shit about you. They just throw you to the side. They just abandon you. They just discard you. You know what I mean? And the only people that care, the only people for me, right? The only people that cared when that shit happened to me were Christians. You know what I mean? They're the only ones that cared about me. They're the only ones that helped me, were willing to help me in the little bit they can. They're the only ones that cared about how I felt. And everybody else, like all these politically correct people, you know what I mean? That are not Christians, they didn't give a shit about you. They were evil people. Mhm. Just like my ex, they're evil. They just leave, not giving a care. Not no. Ooh, you drank and you did this. Ooh, you're evil. I mean, and that justifies cheating and abandoning me. Well, in her mind, that's politically correct. That's why, like feminism. Feminism kills their babies. They justify it. Feminism, they cheat. They justify it, And it's just, and then they just leave, right? Like they don't give a shit about you. It's like that is, and unless you've been there and you're like you have nobody to turn to because you aren't perfect, you made some mistakes. And the only people that care about you, that give you a second chance or give you a chance to live, because it's not even about like second chance like that, like being your friend. It's like out of your friends, even your friends, everybody would turn their back on you except Christians. Christian people would be there even if they don't like you. The things you did, they still help you. They're not cruel towards you, and every other person out there is cruel. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? And unless you've been in that situation, where like nobody cares about how you feel, right? Like a woman that aborts your baby and you have no say in the matter, you're just upset and nobody cares about you, right? Nobody's there to help you. Nobody. You know what I mean? Like that's like the marginalized, like as a man, right? Nobody cares about you as a man. And the only people that care about you are Christians. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. Like when you know, just Christians, these bitches don't give a shit. Fake ass friends that you know they were so cool with you, but oh, you know, as soon as they find out that you're a Republican, they'll stop talking to you. I mean, and all this other shit. You know what I mean? You know, the people that like, you know, that they say they're your friends and your homies, and oh, the girls that say they love you and all this shit, they stop talking to you. Your own family stops talking to you. You know what I mean? And you know, whatever, dude. And then I mean, don't be forced. Like, anyway, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, only Christians care, bro. And so, you know, I happen to believe that Christians, the reason why they get the bad rep is because they were next to they know the devil. They were right next to the devil when he fucking enslaved y'all. You know what I mean? But he's the Christians were the ones that said, you know, hey, don't kill them. Hey, ease up on the lashings. You know, hey, you know, they're human beings. They're not a bunch of animals. Hey, you could have all been dead. The world, we would be in a worse place if it wasn't for Christians, man. I mean, like, I just don't understand how y'all don't understand, like, how y'all don't fucking believe that shit. I mean, because black people turn their back on Christianity. Look, as far as black people go, look, I have a lot. I can tell you, black people a lot of shit, bro. But because they get on my damn nerves, bro. You know, because they don't listen. They think they're so fucking smart. So do fucking women. You know what I mean? And it's like, we could be a lot better, but y'all don't fucking listen. I mean, let me see, so do Mexicans, so do other people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, y'all hate Christianity because the white man religion, we made y'all do that stuff. Well, okay, and then y'all don't believe in them, and then y'all killing yourselves. You know what I mean? And your generations are gonna be worse off because y'all believe lies. You know what I mean? And it's like when you believe a lie, right? And a lie is a lie, right? But there's different types of lies. You know what I mean? There's a good lie, then there's a bad lie, right? And a good lie would be something like, hey, you know, what's an example of a good lie? I mean, hey, this person wasn't that perfect and that good, but as long as you believe so, you know what I mean, then you'll strive to be just like him. You know what I mean? Or her, right? And that's a good thing. Like, Spider-Man isn't real, but it gives kids confidence, gives them strength. You know what I mean? It gives them, they look up to it, right? And it helps them. And in times, you know, there's good and there's bad lies. Those are good lies, or else you wouldn't ever believe in yourself and you'd never fucking conquer anything. You know what I mean? And that's why you gotta have your heroes, right? And then, but at the same time, right? At the same time, um, a bad lie would be like, "Oh, I don't believe in God because the white man told me to believe in him." You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Or because the white man doesn't believe in him, so therefore I'm not going to believe in him. Now that is just like, that is one of those bad lies. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's one of those bad, destructive lies that you shouldn't fucking. And so, like, you know, nah, great. Nah, we fucking lost, bro. Yeah, let me do this a little bit.
Oh, shit! Fuck. Fucking sniping, camping this shit.
Your squad mate just got their ass beat. They are returning to base. Your squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to survive to redeploy. Loadout drop headed your way. Enemies dropping into the AO. Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone.